Okay, so what I want to look at in this lesson is the hemisphere. So, so if we have a look at something like this, so this is your general your hemisphere. So a way to kind of think about it is it's like if you took a sphere and you cut it in half. If we think about the Earth, for example, it's split up into two hemispheres. You have the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere as well. So what we want to be able to do within Leaving Cert Maths is we want to be able to, number one, calculate the volume of a hemisphere, and then the other one is to look at the surface area of a solid hemisphere as well. So we look at each of these in turn. So as with the other shapes, we have a formula to look at the volume of a hemisphere. So the volume of a hemisphere is equal to, so it's 2/3, 2/3, times pi times r cubed. So when we have, so the way it's laid out here like this, when you have numbers beside each other like this, it means multiplied by. So there's 2/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by r cubed. So in this example, if we take this hemisphere here, and imagine we have a hemisphere and its radius is 5 centimeters. So the radius again is, if you have a point in the center of the hemisphere on the flat side, and you draw a line to the boundary, and that distance is the radius. So imagine we have a hemisphere of radius is equal to 5 centimeters. So what we can do is we can take this formula here and we can introduce the values that we have. So its volume then, in this case, if it has a radius of 5 centimeters, is going to be equal to 2/3 times pi times r cubed, which in this case r cubed is going to be 5 cubed. So this is what will this be equal to? So 2 divided by 3, so 2/3. So we can look at that. So 2 divided by 3 is equal to 0.66. We'll just round it up to 0.7. So this is 0.7 multiplied by pi multiplied by 5 to the power of 3. Better, 5 to the power of 3. So 5 to the power of 3 then, so 5 to the power of 3 is 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5, which is equal to 125. So this is 0.7 multiplied by pi multiplied by 125. And then we can multiply these all by each other. So let's clear this. So what's that look like? So it's 0.7 multiplied by pi multiplied by 125, which is equal to 274.88, and if we round that up, it'll be 275. So that's equal to it's going to be equal to 275 centimeters cubed. Remember, volume, we're looking at 3 dimensions, so it's always going to be, the unit is going to be cubic. So if we take a hemisphere and it has a radius of 5 centimeters, its volume is going to be equal to 275 centimeters cubed. Now, if we wanted to take this same sphere, or should I say hemisphere, and we wanted to calculate its surface area, so its surface area, that's going to be equal to, and we use this formula, so it's going to be 3 times pi times r squared. And again, these formulas are in your logbooks, so it is important that you have a look at the logbooks and just become familiar with where the formulas are within the logbook. So again, we just put in what we have. So in this case, it's going to be equal to 3 times pi times the radius is 5 squared. Okay, so 5 squared is 25, so that's going to be 25 times pi times 3. And if we multiply these 3 by each other, so we'll just clear that. So it's going to be 3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 25, which is equal to 235.6, and if we round it up, it'll be 236. So 236 centimeters squared. So again, they're straightforward formulas. It's just knowing how to use them and what to do, how to use them. So we've looked at hemispheres, what hemispheres are. So this is the radius here. This is what it looks like. It's a half circle. And we've looked at calculating the volume and calculating the surface area. Okay, thank you for listening.